if you get in the spotlight, once you become popular enough, everybody got the right to speak on you, homie. You in the limelight.
Charleston White just broke his silence on Takeoff, Mob Ties, and Houston, and the truth he dropped was uglier than anyone expected.
If you a mob, I'm a nation. Do you hear me, James? If you a mob, I'm a nation, nigga. A nation ready to go to war with a mob, nigga.
Guns on the table, names exposed, and tempers unleashed. But behind the chaos is a story even darker than the rant itself, and I've got every detail they don't want you to hear.
With Mob Ties and Rap-A-Lot went on, the event flyer was posted online. The city of Houston, the mayor's office, was getting a lot of phone calls. Could have been some trolls. Might have been making some threats. I don't know. I never spoke with nobody from the city of Houston mayor's office. I never spoke with nobody from the Houston Police Department. I got a call from Ms. Papp saying, hey, I just got a call from Houston Police Department. They want me to come to them.
The story starts not with a bullet, but with a phone call. Charleston White was supposed to be the keynote speaker at a long-running Houston event hosted by Parents Against Predators, an organization fighting for children affected by abuse and trafficking. The stage was set. Houston's gang unit would speak, community leaders would gather, and Charleston, the internet's loudest anti-gang activist, would bring his signature chaos as a call to action. But then, the phones started ringing. According to Charleston, the mayor's office and Houston Police Department were suddenly overwhelmed with calls. Some from concerned citizens, others possibly from trolls or planted voices, warning that Charleston's presence could spark violence. The reason? Mob ties. The ever-shadowy connection between Rap-A-Lot Records, James Prince, and the streets of Houston was being invoked like a boogeyman. Threats of retaliation, whispers of danger, and suddenly, the community event for children was framed as a potential war zone. White claimed the police folded under pressure. Instead of doubling down on security, instead of protecting a kid's event, they allegedly told the organizer, Ms. Papp, that it would be safer to drop Charleston from the lineup. And just like that, what was meant to be a day of uplifting youth turned into a scandal about power, politics, and street intimidation.
Police report an open murder investigation that includes his son, and none of the stuff is redacted. None of the information on this mother, none of this names is blotted. How can James Prince get access to that, nigga? With the police, I'm working with the government. Give a fuck, James motherfucker Prince.
The irony was rich. The man known for preaching against gangs was silenced, not by bullets, but by fear and the city's willingness to bend.
Think they mob ties is mob ties. It's Rap-A-Lot ties, you know. But they ain't got no mob to move nothing in America. They can't persuade no judge like the real Italian mafia can. They ain't got no construction contracts like the real mob ties in New York has with the unions and no. They just playing gangster. Jay Prince is a mogul, but he don't have a mob. And he not a mafia.
Charleston White didn't stay quiet for long. Days after being sidelined, he took to the internet, setting up his camera and surrounding himself with guns like props in a horror movie. He didn't just talk, he exploded. His words were gasoline and Houston was the match. He accused the Houston Police Department of being scared of Rap-A-Lot, accusing officers and city leaders of bowing down to James Prince like disciples at a gangster church. Charleston painted a picture of a city under mob control, where cops answer to labels instead of law. He mocked the mayor, dismissed Houston's police chief as a puppet, and claimed that the entire system was rotting under the shadow of mob ties. This wasn't just personal anger. Charleston turned his rant into a morality play. To him, the cancellation of a children's event wasn't a scheduling mishap. It was a dirty expose of how deep Houston's fears run. The so-called community protectors would rather cancel a youth program than stand up to the men pulling strings from the shadows. Charleston's story is spiraling fast, and we're only scratching the surface. If you're still watching, you already know this goes way deeper than a rant. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the next part, it's where the truth starts cutting through the noise.
His political bribes, and everybody knows the police department is on James Prince Rap-A-Lot record payroll. Everybody know that. The sheriff's department is not. The Harris County Sheriff's Department do not take bribe from James Prince, but everybody knows the police department take bribe from Rap-A-Lot records, Mr. James Prince, nigga. And ain't nobody scared. Cause the FBI want the Houston Police Department and James Prince too. Why you think Houston police keep turning the other way on all these murders?
But Charleston's truth-telling came with contradictions. In one breath, he said mob ties had no real power, comparing Jay Prince to a suburban version of Suge Knight, an image inflated only by rap fans and gullible outsiders. In the next, he insisted Houston's police were terrified of Rap-A-Lot's name. It was chaos in word form, a paradox designed to keep everyone guessing. For Charleston, that's the point. Silence is weakness, but noise, even contradictory noise, keeps him at the center of the storm. And in his world, staying viral is more powerful than staying consistent.
I don't need no protection from the... I don't need no... I travel sale with all these goddamn guns, man. Man, I pull out so many goddamn guns, I scare the goddamn police.
If the phone calls were the spark, Charleston's gun show was the fire. Sitting in front of his camera, he pulled out weapon after weapon, rifles, handguns, magazines stacked like trophies, daring anyone, including James Prince, to test him. It wasn't just flexing, it was theater. He called it his rap without records arsenal, mocking Rap-A-Lot by showing off more guns than they could ever dream of bringing to a record deal. Charleston turned his live rant into a stage performance of defiance. "I got something for Rap-A-Lot," he boomed, waving weapons like he was hosting a twisted home shopping network. "I got enough to go to war with the police." It was wild, reckless, and terrifyingly captivating. But underneath the bravado was something darker. Charleston wasn't just angry about being canceled, he was insulted. To him, the idea that he couldn't speak to children because grown men were scared of James Prince was humiliating. And humiliation, in Charleston's world, is always repaid with fire. He dragged Houston as a city, calling it cursed for Takeoff's death, mocking its culture, and even throwing shots at the Houston Astros for good measure. He drew a sharp line between Dallas and Houston, branding his hometown as fearless warriors compared to Houston's weak, scared leadership.
Let me get my goddamn guns and go to the goddamn gun range. This is what I got for Rap-A-Lot Records. I got a whole bunch of for Rap-A-Lot. Now I see the police got it. Police scared of Rap-A-Lot. Police scared of Rap-A-Lot. Man, I got a whole bunch of goddamn guns for Rap-A-Lot motherfucker. I got a bad motherfucker right here. I got a whole bunch of goddamn guns. Now the police, y'all some pussies.
By the end of the rant, it wasn't just mob ties under fire. It was everyone. Houston cops, politicians, rappers, even the community itself. Charleston turned his guns into metaphors for truth, blasting away at anyone he believed had bowed to fear. Whether you saw him as a hero exposing corruption or an unstable man spiraling into paranoia, one thing was undeniable. Charleston White had just turned a local controversy into a national headline.
With Jay Prince. Jay Prince ain't no real street gangster. The black people are the only ones who think rappers and entertainers are real gangsters. Nobody in Houston, nobody in Texas thinks Jay Prince is just ghost boogeyman. Nobody thinks that.
Once Charleston's dust storm hit the internet, the conversation turned to the heart of the matter. How much power does Jay Prince really have? To the outside world, Rap-A-Lot Records and its mob ties branding carry a sinister aura. Prince has been painted as the quiet kingpin of Houston, a man whose whisper carries more weight than a judge's gavel. To Charleston White, though, this mythology is exactly that, a myth. Charleston dismantled the legend by drawing comparisons to Suge Knight. Just like Knight, Jay Prince wasn't some lifelong gangster from the trenches, he was a businessman who learned how to move among gangsters. White sneered at the idea of a record label CEO being treated like a mob boss, mocking the black community for idolizing entertainment figures as if they were untouchable gods. "Ain't no one man running Texas," he snapped. "Not Houston, not Dallas, the game runs itself." But Charleston's words cut both ways. In the same breath, he declared Houston's police department too scared to stand up to Rap-A-Lot. He argued that politicians and chiefs were compromised, bending at the knees of Jay Prince's influence. It was a contradiction, but a pointed one. Prince might not be an omnipotent crime boss, but the myth of his power is strong enough to paralyze institutions.
How do you think James Prince can get an open murder investigation that includes his son? And none of the stuff is redacted. None of the information on this mother, none of this names is blotted. How can James Prince get access to that, nigga? With the police, I'm working with the government.
That's the ugly irony. Charleston's rant proved that even if mob ties is just smoke and mirrors, the smoke is thick enough to choke real leaders into inaction. Whether or not Jay Prince runs Houston, his shadow still dictates who gets to stand on a stage and speak. And Charleston White, never one to miss a chance at drama, ripped that shadow wide open for the world to mock.
Houston and Dallas don't even like each other. Nigga ain't got no reach up here. If we go to prison right now today, Houston and Dallas barely even talk to each other. They enemies.
I seen you say that like on a couple of
Houston
videos.
Get along in this state.
Why is that?
Just like New York niggas.
Charleston didn't just aim at Rap-A-Lot, he aimed at Houston itself. In his tirades, he branded the city a cursed graveyard, invoking the death of Takeoff as proof of Houston's rotten core. According to Charleston, the city allowed violence to run unchecked while silencing the very voices trying to stop it. He framed it as betrayal. While Dallas stands fearless, Houston hides behind false idols and weak leaders. For Charleston, the divide wasn't just about geography, it was about pride. He reminded viewers over and over that he was from Dallas-Fort Worth, a city that, in his words, bows to no one. He mocked Houston rappers, saying none of them had platforms bigger than his own. He ridiculed the city's political leaders, dismissing them as puppets with strings tied to Rap-A-Lot's pockets. And in the sharpest cut of all, he declared he would never again return to Houston to speak at any community event, no matter how noble the cause. That line was devastating. It wasn't just Charleston rejecting Houston, it was him turning his back on Miss Pap, the woman who had organized the children's event and who has been working for years to support victims of abuse. For her, Charleston's platform could have been a spotlight on her mission. Instead, the moment collapsed under the weight of beefs, threats, and fear.
I'm a part of the shit that runs the police. So tell James Prince he don't. James Prince up here, nigga. Damn so ain't never run nothing in Dallas. His sons and them get their ass kicked up here. His sons and them get bullied up here in Dallas, Texas, nigga. I bully the bullies, nigga. Whack.
The tragedy here isn't Charleston's bruised ego or even Houston's bent pride. The tragedy is that kids, the very kids the event was meant to protect, were caught in the crossfire of adult egos and street politics. What should have been an afternoon of inspiration turned into another example of how messy, dangerous, and ego-driven the intersection of rap culture and community activism can become.
We'll mob your things. Shut your nigga. You ain't shut shit, damn. James, tell him you ain't shut shit, damn. Talk to me like you talk to. Mention my mother. I disrespect you, make you throw away. Chump, you a chump to me.
By the time Charleston put down his guns and logged off, the damage was already done. His rant went viral, reaching far beyond Texas. Clips of him shouting about rap without records, daring the Houston police, and mocking Jay Prince spread like wildfire. Some viewers saw bravery, a man unafraid to call out corruption. Others saw instability, a man itching for war where none existed. But the true cost was quieter. The kids at the Parents Against Predators event lost their chance to hear Charleston's message. Whether you see him as a loose cannon or a flawed truth teller, his platform could have given that event national attention. Instead, the spotlight shifted to Charleston himself, leaving the children in the shadows once again. Charleston framed his silent, shattering speech as necessary, a moral obligation to expose the rot in Houston. He claimed the city's leaders, police, and rap figures were all complicit in a culture of intimidation. He positioned himself as the last man standing, declaring he was war-ready for whoever wanted smoke, be it mob ties, police, or government officials.
He don't have that mystique to him no more. Now he on camera explaining to this punk ass, so now he don't look like the big bad Prince no more. He look nervous at times. He look like Wack getting the best of him. He don't look strong no more.
But here's the question. Is Charleston White a hero standing up to fake power? Or is he a man addicted to chaos, dragging children's causes into battles they never asked for? That's the bitter paradox of Charleston's voice. He can draw millions of eyes, but he can also turn the purest intentions into a circus of ego and outrage. And yet, that's exactly why people keep watching. Charleston White doesn't just break silence. He smashes it into pieces, leaving everyone else to pick through the wreckage and wonder what was real. Charleston White didn't just make noise, he exposed the fragile line between truth, ego, and fear. But this isn't the last chapter in his war with mob ties or Houston's elite. So before you go, drop a comment, subscribe, and stay tuned because the next explosion might make this one look small.